You are the one who had to show up after all the trials and tribulations that you've experienced in this life. You are the one who had to go through the adversity. You are the one who had to go through the betrayal. You're the one who had to be touched on inappropriately. You are the one who had to lose your job and still try to find ends meet. You're the one who had to go through a significant amount of adversity. You're the one who had to lose family members, friends, go through sabotage, smear campaigns, lies, rumor, and gossip. You're the one who had to still show up after the psychological abuse, the physical abuse, the mental abuse. You're the one who still had to show up when you didn't have a car, you didn't have transportation, so you had to walk to and from school and work and wherever it is that you wanted to go. You're the one who still had to show up. You're the one who decided to break these generational curses. So I'm gonna need for you to stop taking your life lightly and to start giving yourself a pat on the back and a lot more praise. With that being said, welcome or welcome back. It's your favorite mental health specialist, Ty Guidance, and that's what we're going to talk about in this video. You are the one. So immediately in the beginning, when this video shows up on your For You page, in the comment sections, I need you to affirm that you are the one. You are the one, because at the end of the day, nobody knows how you feel and nobody can be you. So not only do you not need to rush in this life, but you need to start giving yourself a lot more grace. You need to start giving yourself a lot more credit. You need to start giving yourself a lot more respect, because at the end of the day, you went through those things. And regardless if you have the family, the friends, or the support, you still have to show up. That's what nobody talks about. So with that being said, there's no right or wrong way to heal yourself. Always take what resonates, leave the rest, as well as grabbing your pen and your paper and be prepared to take notes. In this video, we're going to go over 5 recommendations in order for you to start giving yourself grace and practice balance. You have to realize that when you go through a significant amount of adversity, trauma, whether it's physically, emotionally, psychologically, consciously, intuitively, it's going to impact you. It can impact your nervous system, which causes you to be imbalanced, which can cause you to be anxious and have anxiety. Okay, I'm your favorite mental health specialist who's a naturopathic physician. It can cause you to be depressed, which can cause fatigue. It can cause your hormones to be imbalanced, so you have high cortisol. It can cause you to be overwhelmed, which can cause you to be moody, which can cause you to be irrational. It affects your emotions. It affects your mindset. So your mindsets could start to become negative. Physically, if you've gone through abuse, like you were being beaten and you were, attacked, your body has to heal through the trauma. And with that, you have to realize that who you once were, and what you used to do no longer resonates with you. And that is what people consider to be the spiritual path, the spiritual elevation, or a rebirth. You're being reborn again. When you're elevating, you're growing, because nothing in life is going to last forever. And you have to realize that our past was not sent to destroy us or to hurt and harm us, but for us to self-reflect and to realize what's working in our life and what's not. So therefore, moving forward, we don't continue on the same path. We don't continue on the same destination. We don't continue the same cycles and experiences, especially if this is what we're saying that we don't want to experience. Unfortunately, we are only going to experience things in life if we don't learn what we're supposed to be doing and what we're not supposed to be doing, especially if you have a specific outcome or a specific goal that you want to experience in life. You have to realize that your life is not going to look like everybody else's. So once again, when you take what resonates, you leave the rest, you apply that with everything and everybody in your life. You don't have to listen to people talk down to you or make you feel bad about what you went through behind closed doors, because if it was them, they couldn't walk a mile in your shoes. So the first thing you have to do in order for you to start giving yourself grace and balance is accept the fact that you went through a significant amount of trauma. You don't have to deny what has happened to you. You don't have to sugarcoat how you feel. You don't have to invalidate your experiences, regardless if you had the family, the friends, a therapist, me, your favorite mental health specialist, a psychiatrist, somebody that you can confide in to express yourself and articulate your feelings. You went through those things. And a lot of times when we do experience trauma, it stems from lack of awareness. It stems from not having the guidance. So not having family members, not having friends, not having guardians, not having the people who are supposed to protect us, be there for us, having people in positions of power abused or authority, having people not informing and educating us, being ignorant, being naive, not having a sense of knowing, lacking experiences because we grew up in a certain environment, we were exposed to certain things. And you have to realize that if you're in environments where it's not healthy, there's no education, there's no resources, you're only going to do what is in front of you, whether it's negative or positive, right or wrong. So instead of beating yourself up about not knowing certain things in your life based off of what you've been exposed to, accepting that what happened to you happened and it is going to be okay because you have the opportunity to move forward. Now, of course, because healing is not a one size fits all, in this period of acceptance, you have to grieve, which means you have to be vulnerable, which means you have to stop trying to suppress and stop trying to deny the fact that you were touched on inappropriately by your family members or uncle or your mom or your brother or somebody at school or your coworkers at an early age or in your teenage years or in your adult years of life, that you were being caressed. You have to talk about the times that you grew up in a household where you didn't have something to eat and you were hungry. You have to talk about the times being around people who did substances that weren't the best and what that was like. You have to talk about living in environments where you didn't have maybe running water or certain resources. You have to talk about the times that you were bullied. You have to talk about the times maybe you did have a silver spoon. Maybe you did have parents who were financially stable, but they worked so much or they didn't give you attention. You have to talk about the separation in the household. You have to talk about the envy. You have to talk about those things. You have to acknowledge that a lot of people try to deny the trauma, and that's why it ends up bothering them. And it's not until people get in certain situations or exposed to certain people and it's exposed and it ends up coming out. What is done in the dark will always come to the light. And that ends up being your conscience. Like, a lot of people walk around very guilty. A lot of people try to act like their sugar honey iced tea doesn't stink. It does. And instead of walking on eggshells, instead of protecting the people that hurt and harmed you, acknowledge that this is what happened to me and that it is okay for you to be vulnerable. You cannot be afraid to be vulnerable in order for you to continue to show up and in order for you to continue to give yourself grace. Like, I'm vulnerable by making this channel, by making this content, by using my voice, by using my platform, because at the end of the day, I'm not scared of nobody. And it's not even about being like physically a super BADASS or just a head honcho. It's the principle, it's the morality, it's the integrity that I have for myself. At the end of the day, nobody brought me into this world other than the Most High, my ancestors, God in the universe. So at the end of the day, nobody has power or authority over my life. And that's the same thing with you. You should never be afraid or ashamed to talk about what you went through, because every single person in this world has gone through something. Now, once again, because you can't compare your life to other people, how significant and how severe is based off of, like I said, circumstances, resources, education, their environment, what they've been exposed to. It's not to compare and contrast. And anybody as a grown adult, I'm 28, so 25 and older, 30 years old, as a grown adult, nobody's going to judge you. If anything, we need to have these conversations. It's only uncomfortable and difficult because people want to avoid it. People claim to be so real. People claim to be, I'm this girl, I'm him, but you can't be honest. You can't be accountable. You can't talk about what has happened to you. Like, you're not going to be able to solve problems. You're not going to be able to see change if you don't go to the root, if you don't go to the source. And it's just like, if people really wanted to be uncomfortable or not be uncomfortable and protect their peace, people shouldn't have done what they did, because a lot of times people do know what they do is not right. A lot of times people are taking advantage. A lot of times it is innocent people. It is people who are naive. It is people who don't have the guidance and the resources. Nobody that I know, and me personally from experience, would never intentionally and blatantly put myself in a certain situation where I know the consequences are going to be severe. You have to be out of your mind, or you genuinely just do not care about life. In which I know that's not you guys. There's no way. There's no way. And if you are, you're a wicked person. And once again, I'm not afraid to say that. There are some wicked people in this world. So instead of becoming like the wicked people in this world who did the things to us, give them back their energy. If you know that's not how you were raised, even if you didn't have love, even if you weren't shown and taught abundance and prosperity and being confident, being beautiful, you know that's not who you are. The third thing that you have to do, make sure you guys are keeping track, because, okay, the third thing, once you accept it and you're vulnerable and you hold yourself accountable and you talk and you articulate how you feel, is just knowing that You did go through those things. You do have to take the time to heal. You do have to take the time to grieve. And grieving looks different for everybody. Some people go to therapy. Some people meditate. Some people exercise. Some people listen to music. Anything that's not hurting or harming yourself, as long, like I said, as your intentions are genuine and it's not causing any confusion or corruption, do it. If you need to rest, go to sleep. If you need to nap, if you need to watch your favorite TV shows, find something that's entertaining, occupy your time. Once again, as long as it's not causing any corruption, confusion, or chaos, I cannot tell you guys what you can and cannot do. I'm only here to inform, educate, and motivate those who resonate with the videos and recommend. And that's the same thing when it comes to life. You don't have to listen to everybody's advice. You don't have to listen to people if what they say is not compatible with who you want to be. This doesn't mean that you knock people. This doesn't mean that you think you're better than people. This doesn't mean that we're holier than thou, because at the end of the day, people are people at the end of the day. But take what resonates, leave the rest. You have to learn how to do things that make you feel good when you take the time to do this. And once again, you're only uncomfortable because you're trying to deny how you feel. Stop trying to deny how you feel. Over here, we're very much so accountability. We're very much so accountable, which means we have to be accountability. We have to be accountable. You guys, I don't know what the tea is. I think I need to fix my lighting, honestly, because it's a distraction. So and you're like, what does the lighting have to do with it? Because if I'm trying to speak and there's this bright light behind me, it makes sense to me. It doesn't have to make sense to you. And you have to realize that, okay? What makes sense to you is not always going to make sense to everybody else. Common sense is not common. But anyways, let's focus it back onto the video. I'm trying to make these videos entertaining, you guys. Like, I just got a notification about my package. Okay, thank you, Temu. Anyways, seriously, all jokes aside, you have to realize that you went through certain things. That's the whole purpose of this video, okay? You went through certain things, and you and I are not going to sit here and beat ourselves up about our past, because once again, if we had the resources, if we had the tools, and we had the guidance, do you think we would sit here and intentionally choose to be in certain situations or surround ourselves with wicked people or just allow certain things to happen to us? Do you think if we, let's just say, maybe weren't confident or maybe weren't sure of ourselves, we would surround ourselves with people who want to take from us, who want to use us, and who want to abuse us? No. Like, a lot of people confuse being a good person, being loving, and being kind as a people pleaser. I've been around a lot of wicked people, and I've also been around good people, but the wicked people in my life really thought that me being respectful, me being reserved, me having manners, which I know it's rare nowadays for people to have, was me just being like a pushover, or I'm not going to say nothing, I'm not going to do nothing. First of all, you're not even worthy of my time. That's what it is. When you know who you are, when you, like I said, when you actually have integrity, when you have a backbone, when you actually carry yourself a certain type of way, you're not doing tit for tat. We're not playing tic-tac-toe. We're not doing Connect Four and Goldfish. We're not Uno out. Okay, as you guys can see, we love a game over here. Like, that's not what that is. I don't clean dirt with dirt. I'm not matching your energy. Like, you don't need to match horrible people's energy when they're horrible people. Now, if you're a good person, you have good vibes, you mean well, okay, that's like one thing. But if you're just, it's not giving what it's supposed to give, why would we go back and forth? No. I don't think there's nothing wrong with people being respectful, being loving, and being kind, and even being nice. Like, the world is so dehumanized and desensitized that when anybody says being nice, being kind, or you're friendly with too many people, that's the problem. Who wants to be around environments where people can't feel safe? I should not be around people where I cannot feel safe or I cannot feel seen. If that's the situation, you don't need to be around these people. And it's just like, when you go through this significant amount of trauma, so like me being fired at 20 years old, that was traumatic for me. I'm going to tell you guys a story time about that later in the future. That wasn't a moment for me to be like, oh, I'm just going to be sad and not move forward. I had to learn, but it's just like people like making fun of people who are less fortunate or not having money. That's disgusting. Like Nicki Minaj said, broke people should never laugh. Like, there's nothing funny about making fun of people's finances. I never thought that was cute, and I would never be that way. Because guess what? I've seen millions of trillions of dollars, and I've also had $1 in my bank account before, okay? That's not funny. That's disgusting. Because at the end of the day, unless you really have it like that, everybody has to do financial hardship. People go through things. Not having family and friends, you're not better than anybody else. And it's like, if people really thought so high mighty of themselves, if people really wanted to be better, which they're not, that's the gag, You wouldn't even be worried about other people. So it's just like, you have to realize you went through these battles a lot of times alone. A lot of the trauma that I experienced, I went through it alone. I can count the people that I've called. Some of them passed away. Some of them I no longer speak with because I've outgrown them. And it's not a lot of people who were genuinely there without any hidden intentions or any hidden agendas, or who wanted to rub it in your face. Once again, like, that's disgusting. Like, growing up, once again, I had people in my immediate circle where if I asked them for something, they would throw it in my face. And it just got to the point where it's just like, people want you to be like them so bad, but it's like, I could never be like that because I'm not closed off. But it's just the principle. Like, if you're going to do something for somebody, do it because you genuinely want him to be happy. Do it because, first of all, you genuinely are in a position to give. If you're not in a position to give, you don't have to give. You don't have to feel guilty. But to hold it over somebody's head, you're a horrible person. I just want you guys to know that. I want you to know that you're the one who had to survive all these trials and tribulations. And unless people are getting to know you, unless people are willing to understand you, unless people are building a relationship with you, F them respectfully. If they don't finance you, if they don't feed you, if they don't pour into you, they don't educate you, they don't inspire you, they don't uplift you, who cares about who they're supposed to be? Because they're not bigger than the plot. They're not bigger than the program. And the people who thought they could come into your life and sabotage and do all these things, it just gives fan. It just gives fan. Like, you're not superior. You're not better. And I want you to know that, like, when people try to look down on you, every single person who thought they was looking down, guess what? I wasn't even looking at you. And you have to realize that these are the same people and these forces and these entities and the energies who are very low vibrational and they need attention. And if that's you, we got to work on ourselves. Yes, people are frustrated. Yes, there's a lot of confusion. Yes, there's a lot of corruption. Am I the president of the United States of America? No. Do I want that responsibility? No. But at the end of the day, I'm allowed to create the life that I want because I have free will. We all do. Okay, whether you're spiritual or religious, because once again, we don't force it on people because everyone doesn't believe in the same things, and you can't do that. None of us get to play God in people's lives. So it's like, respect people's differences, love people, appreciate them for who they are, or move around them. But it's just like, you're the one who had to go through these things. So at the end of the day, it's no reason for you to beat yourself up. It's no reason for you to be embarrassed. It's no reason to be ashamed. It's no reason for you to feel like you can't just be you, because at the end of the day, the right people, the right places, the right opportunities that are for you are going to accept you. When I talk about what happens to me in the future, people who judge me, you're a weirdo. You're a weirdo because, first of all, why are you here? Second of all, you don't have to be here. Okay, get a life. Yeah. Some of us are not afraid, like I said, to speak up. I've never been shy. I've been a reserved individual, but I'm not shy. Like, people, like I said, don't even deserve a reaction. You have to realize that too. When you go through a significant amount of trauma, once again, like, trying to have conversations with people who don't even get it, don't waste your time with them. Like, you have to be very intentional. But it's just like, take the time to grieve. I'm gonna wrap up this video, you guys. Take the time to grieve. Cry, yell, scream, and shout. Book a service and a session with me, your favorite mental health specialist. Of course, when I make these videos, it's more inspirational, it's more motivational, it's more educational, and trying to be entertaining. But like, when you book a service and a session, obviously it's very confidential. It is very much so triggering. We are gonna impact the trauma, okay? But it's just like, the goal is to release it, come up with solutions, move forward, and let it be. Because at the end of the day, time is gonna go by, and we're not gonna be here physically forever, infinity, and to be on eternally, like Buzz Lightyear said. That's a different topic for a different video. But it's just like, you don't need to be so hard on yourself. You don't need to compare yourself. And most importantly, you don't need to be worried about people who don't even check on you. Did they call on you? The same people that judge you and talk badly about you when you were down, did they call on you? Did they make sure you were good? Did they say, oh my gosh, Tigers, I heard this happened to you, girl, And I'm talking about genuinely, not so they can be like, yeah, I was the one who helped her, I was the one who did this, or I was the one who helped him. F you, okay? So if you guys have questions, comments, concerns, and you want me to continue to talk about this, let me know. I need to fix this lighting because it's literally, you see the difference? It's literally a distraction. It's literally a distraction. It's a distraction. But I love you guys. I'm ending off this video. Let me know the next topic, or if you guys have questions and comments and concerns. Recently, I responded to the DMs on Instagram talking about a topic, as well as follow me on all my social media platforms. All the information will be down in my description box below. head to my Instagram and on TikTok. I will be going live until we reach our goal here on YouTube, which we'll be reaching any day now. And like I said, if you're interested in a service and a session when the energy is more calm and relaxed and confidential, the description is, my website is in the description. You guys, I'm not editing this video. I'm just going to keep it because this is the thing. Authenticity is real. And it's not even that it's rare. You just have to embrace yourself. Like, you cannot be afraid to be yourself when you're going through a significant amount of trauma, because at the end of the day, everybody goes through things. Everybody goes through things. And once again, nobody who loves you, nobody who cares about you is going to judge you. So I want you to know that. Stop making excuses for people. There are some people in this world who are horrible. When people judge you or make fun of you or kick you while you're down, when you're going through things, they don't care about you. Nobody who respects you is going to sit here and allow you to hurt and harm yourself intentionally. And that's what I had to realize. And the sooner you realize it, and a lot of times you're going to think it's your family members and your friends and the people closest to you. Strangers don't know you. Strangers don't know you, and that's a different topic within itself. Strangers don't know you, so of course it's going to be your family members and your friends. A lot of times, like I said, it's subconsciously, because they were programmed, they were taught and installed fear and just to be evil and wicked, or they had things happen to them and they never healed from it and they just started to treat people how they were treated. Or some people were just envious. Like, there's no in between. Like, there are good people in this world, there are bad people in this world. It's a choice. Don't make excuses, but also don't be so hard on yourself. I need you to start resting when you need to rest. If you don't feel like doing something, you don't have to do it. You don't have to rush, because your life, like I said, is different. You know your circumstances. If you know that you got hit by a bus, you were beat up, you didn't have no clothes, you lost your job, you lost your goldfish, you lost your man, you're pregnant, like, it's like life is life for everyone. Okay? Love you. Bye.